Hi everyone, and welcome to Creativity, Collaboration and Community, where we're going to delve into what life is like as a creator in both Meta Horizon Worlds and in Crayta. Both of these platforms provide powerful creative tools that can be used by experienced creators and novices alike. And both of them allow users to explore, play and create social experiences and games to be enjoyed by others as they bring some of their wildest dreams to life. Meta Horizon Worlds does that in VR on Meta Quest, while Crayta serves a desktop and a mobile screen-based audience via Facebook Gaming, Google Stadia, and Epic Games Store. But they've both been built from the ground up with these shared values of creativity, collaboration, and community. So I'm delighted to be joined today by a leading creator from each platform for a conversation about what those values have meant to them as they found their creative feet in these two amazing communities. First up, I'd like to welcome Daniel Martin Garcia, known as Tumbak7 in the Crayta community. He's a Spanish-based creator who's built some of Crayta's most successful and award-winning games, from mystical adventures to fiendish obstacle courses. And he's been a key member of the Crayta community since the earliest days of the platform back in 2020. And we're also joined by Aaron Sorrells, who's a leading light in the Meta Horizon Worlds creator community, where he goes by the name of Unemployed Alcoholic. He's risen to prominence since the platform launched as the creator of the highly popular Soapstone Comedy Club, where he's poured his passion and creativity into building a space that allows people to shine and entertain others, all while telling the inspirational story of his addiction recovery journey. A very warm welcome to you both. And before we get started, I should introduce myself briefly too. My name's Natalie Griffith, and I'm the head of brand and marketing at Unit 2 Games, the meta studio behind Crayta. I've been in the games industry for over 30 years, and at Meta since last summer when our studio was acquired. I'm super passionate about encouraging and empowering people to be creative in digital spaces, so I'm thrilled to be hosting this conversation today. Our goal over the next 20 minutes or so is to give you a sense of what it's like to be a part of one of these communities, and to offer a little insight and maybe inspiration to those of you who might be thinking about giving it a go. So, let's get started. So Aaron, turning to you first, how did you originally get involved in Meta Horizon Worlds, and had you done any digital creation like this beforehand? And also I understand there's a significant anniversary you've just celebrated.
Yeah, so Natalie, first off, it's great to see you. I'm so happy to be here sharing this stage with you and sharing a little bit about Meta Horizon Worlds and the experience I've had in it. As far as what brought me into Worlds, it actually was a position of hardship that brought me to both Meta Horizon Worlds and also really into comedy as well. So I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I'm known as the unemployed alcoholic. And that came from a spot of addressing alcoholism in my life and battling through a period of unemployment. And from there, I found comedy. And then, of course, when the pandemic came along and really kind of flattened that whole industry, that drew me to the metaverse. And now here I am today. And as far as anniversaries go, there's actually two very, very cool anniversaries. First off, about a year ago, at last year's Meta Connect, I heard Mark Zuckerberg's keynote address, and he talked about what was coming up for the metaverse, and it really struck me as this was a very cool thing, and it was something I needed to get involved with. And then probably even more importantly than that is I just celebrated my 6-year sobriety birthday, so I'm now 6 years sober from alcohol, and things are going in a very good direction.
That's great. Congratulations on that, Aaron. That's amazing. And Daniel, what was your journey into creation before you joined Crayta?
I discovered Crayta by chance, thanks to my friend Vicente. We were in the lockdown at home due to COVID, and we said, let's play something. Crayta appeared in the catalog, and from the first minute, we fall in love with the platform and the collaborative mode. and how you can make games with other people and at the same time. That is super cool for us. And I did some game related stuff in the past, but it was only as a hobby. There was a game with an open tool set, and I created there some maps, quests, stories, but it was a long time ago, and it was only as amateur, not as professional.
Cool. So, as we mentioned at the top, both of these games have been designed from the ground up with user-generated content, UGC, front and center. So, Meta Horizon Worlds leans more into experiences and social spaces, whereas Crayta is focused a little more on games. So, what I'd love to hear you guys talk about now is give me a sense of what inspires you to build the things that you've built. Aaron, as we've touched on just now, yours is a very personal story that's led you into this. So tell me a little bit about the comedy club when you first created it and what the inspiration was.
Yeah, so when I do comedy to connect with people. And of course, this platform has just been an extension of that. So that was really the motivation behind getting into Meta Horizon Worlds, was to be able to connect with people and do comedy.
Cool. And Daniel, you've been quite the prolific game creator in Crayta. We can't stop you building stuff. You've done everything from massive adventure games through to obstacle courses and architectural constructions. What inspires you at the start of each project? What is the nugget that gets you going right at the beginning of each new game?
I've been playing games for a long time, and I'm not quite sure where the inspiration comes from. But I think I just make games I would like to play and environments I would like to see. And I think when you create something that you really like, the result is always better and you enjoy the process much more. That's the what inspires me, is to create things in that way.
So obviously creating in VR, Aaron, is very different from creating on flat screens. You've got to get your head around how to operate in that VR space before you start building anything. But then the scripting system in Meta Horizon Worlds is really intuitive with sort of drag and drop code blocks. Give me a sense of how you learnt to kind of build effectively in Meta Horizon Worlds and kind of what your sort of learning journey was like.
Yeah, so there's one word that comes to mind, and that is collaboration. The way that I've been able to achieve stuff and learn stuff is through collaboration. There's just an incredible group of people. There's an incredible community in Meta Horizon Worlds where there's people just willing to help out as far as building itself, and also as far as teaching you and going that route.
And Daniel, obviously for Crayta, because it's screen-based, I think a lot of people are already familiar with a keyboard and mouse setup. So that part is perhaps a little less intimidating. But in Crayta as well, it's useful to have some Lua scripting knowledge to be able to build things. So what was your learning journey like? What did you do to kind of learn the basics and start creating things in Crayta?
I have to confess, I'm not very good at Lua or coding, but I've learned a bit in a very natural way. In Crayta, you don't need to know anything to make games, only passion. In the community, we help each other, and there are many packages with templates, which are like plugins, really similar. And it's content made by community members that you can put into your games, and it's ready to use. You don't have to create all the game. There are many tools to design the environment or the behavior, and that is really awesome for creators.
Great. And obviously you've both spoken a lot already about collaboration. And as we said at the top, that's one of the key things that we wanted to be talking about today. So Daniel, for you, the Crayta creators work very closely together in our Discord server while they're building things. So can you give me a sense of how that works and what you find most useful about that kind of interaction?
Sure. Collaboration is everything for me. You are not alone at home doing something. It's like if you were in a big virtual co-working office with cool people, and it's really fun. Also, if you don't know how to do something, you can collaborate and associate with people who know how to do that part of the game. You can create things at the same time with your friends. You can see what they are making in real time. I really like that aspect of the game.
And Aaron, for you, obviously a lot of the collaboration happens via the built-in voice chat in MetaQuest for Meta Horizon Worlds. What's your experience been of kind of finding other people to work with and then actually collaborating with them in the game?
Yeah, the bottom line there is building is a lot of fun. When you're in Meta Horizon Worlds and you get into the world, there can be 4 people in there at a time that are building, and oftentimes we're working on individual things, and then somebody will invite a person over and collaborate a bit, work together on it, solve a problem, and it's just a good time. It's a community experience. It's very cool.
Fantastic. And talking about those communities, you're both super active in your respective communities. So staying with you, Aaron, the success of a comedy club, whether that's in the real world or that's a virtual one, that depends on having an engaged audience, right? So can you tell us what you've done to try and promote the club and actually get people involved and get them to come and watch the shows?
Yeah, so it's interesting because really what our secret sauce is, what has made us successful, I think, really doesn't have much to do with promoting of the comedy club. What it is, and I mean, don't get me wrong, we put great shows on, we do wonderful experiences like that, but ultimately we've got a simple 3-point to-do list of what we're really trying to accomplish in the club. And that's one, to empower leaders. So anytime there's a person who's positioned to where they might be able to step into a role and do some stuff, that's why we're there, to put them into leadership positions and help there. Secondly is to encourage people towards the spotlight. And because that's our purpose, the whole everyday open mic experience, like it just works. It just flows. And then the third thing, which I think is very important, especially given how new this all is and how many people are curious about it, I'm here to share what I'm learning. And that's been quite a bit. I've stubbed toes along the ways and learned some lessons, and I'm just here to share some of those.
Fantastic. And Daniel, you've played quite an interesting part in the Crayta community. You're one of the driving forces behind our Spanish-speaking sort of sub-community. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came about?
Yes, sure. It started because we had some friends who wanted to learn how to make things in Crayta, but some of them didn't know English or have difficulty with it. There were also more and more Spanish-speaking people in the community. So we proposed to the Crayta bosses to create a section of the Discord focused on them with video tutorials or streaming lessons. They said yes, and now every Wednesday we give classes via Discord, and sometimes we create a game together and help new members. And yes, that's part of the community.
Brilliant. And you've both done an amazing job to actually pay it forward, the passion that you're experiencing in the community, and make that inclusive for more people. So that's fantastic to see. We're going to need to wrap up soon. So to both of you, I have one kind of final question. What's the most important thing you've taken away from being a creator in these communities? And what one piece of advice would you give to a newcomer? I'll throw it to Aaron first.
So, I mean, the most important thing for sure is that just people are awesome. As we've had the opportunity to engage with people, to put people in positions, where they can accomplish things, like people are just made to shine. People are made to excel, and it's been awesome to see that happen. So that's cool. As far as like advice to a newcomer, the big power of Meta Horizon Worlds is that it makes things accessible to people. So if somebody's trying to get into this and find their spot, find their niche, the thing to do is to figure out what they have, what experience they have, what place do they know intimately, and figure out then how to use the platform to make that accessible to people. And if they do that, the sky's the limit. Or actually, the sky's not even the limit. We can go way past that.
And Daniel, what about you?
What I'm most proud of is some of my games. They are like my children's or something like that. In particular, Ruins of Mahura, it was my first game. I made it with my friend Vicente, who I told you about before. I really enjoy a lot doing it, and I'm super happy when I see somebody streaming it or playing it and enjoy my content. Is really what I take of this community is super cool. That and an advice for newcomers. I know sometimes it's hard and difficult, but I encourage you to try always to create things with passion and having fun with it. If you have fun creating it, people probably will have fun playing it. And if not, at least you had fun in the process, and that's already a success.
Absolutely. Fun, passion, and collaboration. I think they're probably the good points to end on. Before we do, though, Daniel, I wondered if you'd perhaps like to share something in Spanish to our Spanish-speaking viewers today.
Sure. Hola, ¿hablas español o estás aprendiendo a hablar español? En Crayta hay una comunidad de hispanoparlantes en la que nos ayudamos entre todos. Damos clases sobre cómo hacer cosillas, hacemos tutoriales o nos ayudamos entre todos en algún proyecto o en algún juego. Somos muy majos y así que si te interesa el mundo de la creación de los videojuegos, es una oportunidad laboral muy interesante y es muy divertido. Solo tienes que unirte a nuestro Discord de Crayta y ponerte el rol de Spanish y te aparecerán los canales. Así que únete, que te estamos esperando, que te va a encantar.
Huge thank you to both Aaron and Daniel for joining us today for what I hope you all found a really inspiring chat. Here at Meta, we continue to be blown away by the passion, the dedication, and the creativity of all the creators in our products. And as we build towards a broader vision of the metaverse, we look forward to welcoming many more of you into the world of creativity, collaboration, and community that Aaron and Daniel are already getting so much out of. If you're interested in taking a look at Meta Horizon Worlds, then simply search for it on your MetaQuest store. Or for Crayta, then head to fb.gg/Crayta. Thank you for joining us.